We are now practicing the OneNote, uh, which was taken up by the CSCA sections students. So we already in our earlier discussions, we discussed about the DDL commands, DML key constraints, etc. Then we talked about queries and nested queries. Thereby, we worked with the aggregate operators, views, etc. And then we worked with different types of functions. So this is all what we have taken up in our part of the earlier exercises. Okay. In today's uh, content, in today's content, uh, we will talk about we will talk about the experiment number 6, that is live SQL with to demonstrate the PLSQL triggers. So that was the aim what we are now looking at. So in order to take this exercise, our key issue was, or our key concern was that we need to have a simpler databases for quick bit of understanding. So now you can see here there was a partial database called as a Silers. Their name and number, rating, age, and we can see this Siler ID. It is defined as the primary key. Thereby, we had another database called as a reserves with Siler ID, boat ID, and date of reservation called as DOR, and thereby a primary key. Now they are looking at in a way that it can take up the row should exist the three elements: sailor ID, boat ID, and DOR. So at this point of time, primary key is composed with multiple attributes to uniquely identify the rows. In order to uniquely identify the rows, now it is primary key. Now it is composed with the three elements. So one, it is Siler ID, two, it is boat ID, three is date of registration. So as the Siler table was created and it is going to have the primary key, we call this one as a key constraint here. And now you can wake up these words with this Siler having 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Thereby reserves are taken up and few more entities are taken up. So this is how we are looking up to this position. So now what we will do is quickly we will do our live SQL part up to here. After we create this content in live SQL, then we will start understanding what this trigger is, and thereby we will look into the different trigger operations which are taken up. I have already shared the live SQL, the OneNote link to you in the chat box, so you have access to chat box, and so you can parallelly work along with me, uh, see that the things are getting executed, and thereby you can work independently to change some set of queries. So in this way it can be a pure interactive, that is you can even use the same one notebook to deploy the answers after you get the content. So let us log in into the live SQL part. So I'm logging in to the live SQL. So then I put the same program into the SQL Sheets worksheet towards execution. So as mentioned, I'm now creating the table called as silers. Now you can see here table was created. Thereby I am creating another table called as reserves. So again you can see that reserves table was created. So now I am going to give few instances to the Siler database. You can see here different rows are created in the output prompt. Then similarly I am taking up the reserves table here. Now I can have this option, the 5 rows are inserted in the reserves. Now let us take the outcomes of silers. Let us take the outcomes of reserves tables to our databases. OneNote. So now you can see there are 5 rows in the prompt. So now what I am going to do is before I start up the triggering part, so I am taking this result set at this point of time to the OneNote, and then I am executing the resource table here. So in resource table we have 5 rows in the Siler and 4 rows here. Okay, so now first one it is executed, it is called as result set 1, and second execution it is result set 2. Now result set 1 it is representing the Siler's table, and result set 2 it is calling up the Siler's table. It is calling up the resource table. Now let us look on what the triggering goes and how the triggering is implemented. So now first one indicates the Siler's table. Next one it is indicating the resource table. Now let us look into the trigger. So trigger, it is going to be an event which will happen before an insert or an after an insert or after an update before an update. So it is going to be taken up by the Oracle server internally in the databases. So the action, once it is initiated, by default there onwards it will be prompted. There is no need of a user intervention. So we had enough discussion on triggering concept in our past experiments. So now instead of taking up the theoretical words, let us see how the triggering is taking up. Now create followed by trigger, it is name of a keyword, and trig1 it is going to be called as a user defined name, and when it needs to be there, either it can be before or it can be after. So this is optional entry what we can understand here. And here we are going to have insert. So it can be insert, it can be update, or it can be delete. So there can be the any data manipulation language commands, and for on which database. So Scilers it is going to be, and watch which database the trigger is going to happen, and when it is going to happen, it is going to have a row level trigger. It is going to happen over a row. Therefore, we are going to call this one as a row level trigger. And we are going to use a PLSQL procedure. So obviously we have a PLSQL body here. So that's where we call begin followed by end. Now, if I am taking up the internal variable names, so I am going to have the way we can use the use for the variables or attributes inside the PLSQL. So that is what we call here as a new column. So now upper, it is going to be the function. We call it as a single row function. So now new of s name hereafter will be displayed as an uppercase word. That means what was our answer was, here I am going to have an Anil as this point of time, then Ravi followed by Kiran, Varma and Sunil. So now what the thing is going to happen was, Sunil will be displayed in uppercase letters and Ravi will be printed in the uppercase letters. Kiran will be printed in the uppercase letters. So for that, we are saying that it can be done not via the SQL, it can be done via the PLSQL. So we are working very simply. But the thing was, these databases, these are already existed. These instances are already existed in the database. So now we can't prompt up the things to uppercase. But whenever there was a new insert operation, so now you can see that Ramesh was taking up the insert operation. So whenever there is an insert operation, then automatically now the triggering will happen. So let us see this how we are going to do the triggering concept in the SQL part. So what we will do is we will now start up our first triggering program. So trigger, you can see it is having the trigger name as trig, then it is will fire before a insert operation is going to happen. So now for a quick understanding, now you can see I will hit on this query first. So now Anil, Ravi, Kiran, Varma and Sunil, only the first case, the initial was in the uppercase letter and rest of the things are in the lowercase letters. But now from here onwards, as you mentioned a trigger, from here onwards, when Ramesh was also written in the same model, it is assumed that his content should be given in the uppercase letter. So let us see whether this is what we are intending. So now you can see that a trigger was created. So the trigger operation was created at this point of time. So now you can place the answer. So this will be a very quick understanding of how this is going up. So next one was let us see this insert operation is going to happen. So now the trigger is active because trigger was created. Now we are going to make an insert operation. So you can see that when an insert operation is happen, now you can see there is one row was inserted after this. But let us see how this insert operation was changed. So now I'm calling the Scilers databases. Now you can see 106 Ramesh, it was totally in the uppercase letter. Why it was uppercase letter? Why not? I had made a reservation in Ramesh insert operation with R as an uppercase letter, but why it happened? Because you made a trigger and hereafter, whenever there is a operation in the name, it should be converted to a upper function. So that's the reason why it was like that. So once an insert operation happened, now this was the funda we should understand here. So since trigger is fired, now Sylar name will be printed in uppercase letter. Will be printed in the uppercase letter. So this was the key takeaway, what we need to understand. Yeah. Okay, we've taken up the trigger which will do an insert before the operation. Okay, so now let us see one more trigger, and this trigger, it is going to do it on the update. It is going to do it on the update. So what is this update? So update Sylar set rating is equals to 6, where age is equals to 30. So I am going to have something in the database, and my intention was there was a rating field, and whoever is going to have the age of 60, so for them the rating should happen as 6. So in order to take this, see, let us have this database here. Now rating 6, it was already rating 6, age is 30, but there is a Sunil's record and his ID was 105, but his rating was 5. So now what is the assumed update operation was, the person's rating should be increased to 7. So earlier the person's rating, it was given as 6, it was given as 5. Now it need to be taken to 6. So how we are going to roll out this content? In order to roll out this content, we are going to say trig underscore row, because we call it as a row level trigger. That too, it is a user defined word. Now user defined name, we are going to have trigger underscore a row here, and now it can be after or it can be before. Now again we are going to use the update operation, and Sylar's, it is going to be the database. So now you want to apply it for every row, so that is the reason why we are going to mention it as row here. And now dbms underscore output, so you can want to display it that the row level trigger is executed. So now after that we can see the update command, and we are going to set this. So let us check what will happen if this update operation is going to be prompted. So let us switch to the SQL part here. So now we are going to have the trigger which can be taken up for each row, and thereby we have this prompting. Now at this point of time, you can see trigger was created. Then I am going to say update Sylar set rating is equals to 6, where age is equals to 30. So what does it mean? It means that the age, whoever is going to have 30, their rating should be 5. But I just showed you in the database earlier that there is a record, but with the age which is 30, but the value is not updated. So let us see whether it is happening or not. So you can see this, earlier Sunil's record was 5. Now Sunil's record, the rating, it has converted to 6. The reason was his age was 30. The reason was his age was 30. So that is the reason why when we made this query operation, now the Sunil's record earlier it was now converted to 60. So you can check this. Now you can see Sunil's record, age was 30, and rating was 5. Now these two we can have converted to the age, it was 6 and sorry, so rating was 6 and the age was given to 30. Okay, so this is how we have taken forward the update operation over a row. Similarly, um, earlier we made update on silers. This is also update on silers. So again, you can see this operation. We will do this by setting this on rating is equals to 7. So so uh, here I'm going to have this after trigger, and now this one we are going to have students trigger statement at this point of time, trigger statement at this point of time. Then it shows that let us see, whoever is going to have age 30, now it is saying that it is affected. It is affected. Now let us see whether really it happened or not. So I'm going to say select star from silers at this point. So whoever is going to have age 30, it was converted to 7. So this was the key takeaway what we have to understand when we are working at this point of time. So I can just retake you to this thing. Now it is 7, right? Now it is 7. Now before what is the status? Before what was status? Status here it is 6. Again status was 6. So you should know the difference. What we are trying differently here. So what we have tried differently was that we converted a update on and we made it via the triggering statement as another function. Okay, we talked about two elements. One, we worked with this insert operation. Then we worked with the update operation. So again, the third thing which can be taken up in this um, triggering will affect also on the insert command. So now we are taking one more trigger to demonstrate the triggering operation with the insert command. So for that we are going to say create table and the name of a trigger. Name of trigger, it is user defined and it is called here as a counter. So when it is going to fire, it is going to fire before, not after. So before insert, right? Why I have mentioned this one as a before, and where it is going to take up, it is going to take up on the silers database. Now declare etc. It is PLSQL construct and total variables. It is the attribute name. It is the attribute name. Then we are going to have this begin and end at this point of time. Now select count. So asterisk, it is going to be the wildcard search, and it is searches or it counts all the number of rows, right? So for that we are going to use up this count. So count into the total. So select counts asterisk into the total from Siler, and then you can say the total number of records after inserting, how many are there. This way we can take it up. So at the earlier point of time, you can see the total number of records here as 6. At the earlier point of time, it was given the total number of records are 6 here. So this was the highlighted content. You can use this. So now what we are going to check was we will now insert a, now we are going to insert a new record, or I can say new record or new row or tuple, whatever of your interest you can tell, but our terminology, it was tuple, the correct appropriate word for the DBMS. So insert into Silers the value as 107 and the name was Sunil. His rating 8 is standing for the rating and 42 it is standing for the age. So let us see what will happen when the insert is going to work. So you can assume first now have in mind that the total number of records it was displaying as of moment was 6. Now we are now taking up this insert way. So in this insert way, what we are emphasizing or what we are primarily focusing was we make an insert via the PLSQL block begin and end. We write the SQL command inside the PLSQL block. So we want to count how many number of rows are there before an insert operation is taking up, and then we make total, and then we use the single row function count, and that's how we are taking it up. Then we will display the total number of records before inserting. So now you can see that table was created. After table was trigger was created. Now this is an insert operation what we are demonstrating. So as there is a demonstration, a total number of records before inserting was 6, right? This is what we are prove. This is what we are going to prove. So this is the intention why we brought up this entire triggering body. Now let us experiment. Let us experiment whether the same procedure can be treated in another way. So I am going to call it as counter 1. Then I will change it to after, and then I am going to use the same variables. Now I'm going to say insert 108, then the name I'm going to call it as KR. Then I can put the same things here. Now let us see what it is going to happen. So creating previous, it was a demonstration before insert. Now it is an after insert. Okay. So again, you can see that trigger was created. Now let us see, I'm inserting this operation. So there is something missing, the comma was missing here. So now you can see that before it was 7 records because Sunil's record was added just now. So that came to 7 records. And after that we added KR record, and once this record was added, now trigger it is going to say now the total records are going to be 8. So that is what the intention of bringing the record at this point of time. So I am taking this entire content here, and similarly I will take the output for further correspondence. It will be very easy for us so to have question followed by query followed by explanation with annotations and followed by the answer and totally in a one notebook. So it will be really like your notebook, a physical notebook, what you regularly practice, like that. Okay, so now yeah, we up to now what we talked was we are just creating the triggers and doing the DML operations, etc. So even I can drop the trigger also. So even we can drop the trigger. So that's how you can drop trigger counter 1. So now you can see that the triggering operation is going to be uh, dropped. So now it is permanently deleted. So trigger is permanently is trigger is permanently deleted. So what a quick recap of what we learned was we talked about the trigger and triggers. We made this with the DDL and we made an insert, we made an update, and we made a delete. That too, we prompted trigger events that it can be before or it can be altered. There we also made a create, replace, and finally drop. So this is all what we looked. This is all what we looked when this triggering operation is concerned. So now we will stop this experiment at this